on, you filthy orcs! Come on then, we've got him on the run! What's this?
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Crizzy Books. I'm Crizzy, or Chris, but only my homeboys call me Chris. And today I'm going to be doing a review for The Lord of the Rings, Book 1, The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. Folks, I am a long-time fan of the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings trilogy of movies. I think that they are fantastic, up there with some of my favorites. But I have never, ever read the actual source material. I did try, though, as you can see by my disgusting movie copy of The Fellowship of the Ring. I got this back in 7th grade when the movies came out, and I tried to read it before I saw the movie. I made it about a third of the way through, gave up. People hold these books in the highest regard. It's known as one of the greatest fantasy series of all time. Nay, some of the best books of all time. So it's finally time for me to see what all the hubbub is about. In The Lord of the Rings, do I even really need to explain the plot at this point? I'll kind of do my best, but I'm going to try and breeze through this. There's a dark lord named Sauron who was defeated a long time ago, but he had a ring of power that can allow him to do all kinds of mischief and cause misery. Sauron's an evil guy. He wants to rule Middle-earth. And he's coming back. His power is resurfacing, and darkness is spreading throughout the land. His one ring has fallen into the hands of several people, but it is lost. Currently, it belongs to a hobbit named Bilbo Baggins, who is super old and has a birthday party, and then he leaves. And he leaves the ring to his nephew, Frodo Baggins. And then one day, Gandalf the Wizard shows up and he tells Frodo, hey, you got to take this ring and you got to take it to this volcano and you got to throw it in the volcano so that it can be destroyed and Sauron can't rise back up to power, because if he does, we are fucked. So Frodo, along with his companion Sam and then two more of their friends, Pippin and Merry, all take off down the road to try and get to Rivendell to deliver the ring, which is where they meet and form a fellowship of 9 of them who will then take the ring to Mordor. Yeah, that's essentially this book. And it was good. I enjoyed it well enough, and I think overall it still holds up. It's a great epic journey. The lore of this world that Tolkien builds is just so deep and vast. There's so much to explore here or to wonder about. It is pretty crazy. So if you're a lore hound, you're gonna love this. However, there are some problems that I have with it, some issues that I take with Tolkien's writing, and I think that there were some pacing issues as well. But not to get ahead of myself, let's just get into my actual thoughts. Again, as a 20-plus year fan of the Peter Jackson movies, I also am a huge fan of The Hobbit. The Hobbit is one of my favorite books ever. It's the only book I've read twice. I was super excited to finally get into this. And very quickly, you find out how different this book is from the film. Like, it is crazy, especially the first third of it. It's absolutely insane how different it is and how much is missing from the movie compared to what's in here. Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin have themselves quite a little f***ing time before they ever reach Bree. And it's pretty insane. One of the most memorable things being the Barrow Wights, these kind of like cursed demon soldiers and knights or something. I don't know. I was a little confused about what exactly the Barrow Wights are, but this was a really like pretty metal scene and just like very cool and very eerie. Tom Bombadil is another jolly little detour for this group, even though I kind of felt like his presence was maybe just some kind of setup or outside work, because we don't really know much about him and he really doesn't do shit for the group or anything. He really is just there to kind of show off his insane power that he has, and then just sends them on their way. He's like, yeah, I don't really care. Whatever happens, happens, and it's not really my problem. I don't know. I mean, is he a god, or is he like a metaphor for God? Like, who knows? Who cares? Doesn't matter. One thing that I really did love, though, was how creepy the Black Riders are, especially like in the Shire when the hobbits are on the move on the road and just trying to stay out of sight. There's one scene where one of the Black Riders gets off of his horse and starts crawling around on the ground trying to sniff out the hobbit scent, and I just thought it was so creepy and really cool. Again, very metal. I'm going to say a lot of things are metal in this because there are very cool moments that I would consider to be incredibly awesome and very heavy metal in the way that they're described and the way that they look. And the Black Riders, really a lot of the moments with the Black Riders were very, very cool and very metal. One of the things that I felt throughout all of this was that the characters felt very much the same. The way that they spoke was almost identical. So there were some nuances, but mostly they just feel kind of flat. I was hoping for more identity between them and to kind of fall in love with their traits. But here's hoping that maybe they open up a little more in book 2. The Council of Elrond might be the longest chapter of any book that I've ever read. That's not to say that it was bad or that I didn't like it. I actually really did like it, hearing all these different sides from different characters, some new, some old, finding out what's going on with certain people who we've already met. Things like that. I thought it was really good. Another big gripe of mine is that there's a lot of stuff happening, like big events and actions, and it just feels like Tolkien's not really concerned with fleshing those things out. He almost moves through them pretty rapidly. Action just feels kind of rushed, or just like that happened. Like, that happened. That's it. He seems far more interested in describing flowers and streams and mountains in excruciating detail instead of just fleshing out and describing action scenes more. He will straight up spend the same amount of time describing a hill and a meadow as he will an ambush of wolves on the Fellowship, and Gandalf is exploding trees and setting shit on fire, and it's just full of excitement and all this crazy nonsense is going on. The same amount of time I spent on both of those things. It's annoying. It's not like the worst thing ever, but it does kind of suck at times because it leaves you wanting more out of these really cool moments and action scenes. I do love that Gandalf had to blow some fat clouds to remember where to go in Moria. This way, dudes. I love that Gollum was following them the whole time, and they all are kind of on the lookout for him or see him. Nobody really says anything, but they all know he's there. And even when they're in Lorien, like, he's very close to them and ends up getting caught, but then he escapes. The elves are talking about him like, I don't know, we caught this friggin' thing and it was just nuts. It escaped. Very cool to have him lingering around and you just know his presence is there and he's following them the whole time. I really liked Galadriel in the movie, and in the book, I think I like her even more. She's probably one of my favorite characters, and I don't really know why that is. She sounds hot as shit too. And then towards the end of the book, Jesus Christ. And then at the end of the book, before the Fellowship kind of disbands, Frodo puts on the ring and goes into, this kind of ring world and has this really kind of surreal vision. And I thought that it was really cool and a bit of a different tone than what we have seen so far. But overall, at the end of the day, I feel like this book is more about the trip than the destination. It's going to be long and arduous and full of trials, and quite a few of them happened in this one. And I thought that it was all pretty good. Overall, I think I would give The Fellowship of the Ring a 4 out of 5. I get why it's so well regarded. I feel like maybe it's a bit overrated and that people look at it through nostalgia glasses. And I know that I had a lot of maybe negatives to say about it, but at the end of the day, I still did really enjoy it. I thought it was really good. It's nice to get the actual story and to learn more about certain characters and what things are and all the things that they left out. I still very much enjoyed it. I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression that I have all these negative things to say. And there's no doubt that it deserves its flowers and its praise for its influence. And there was so much that I really liked about it. And But there was also a lot that I could have done without. Here's to hoping that the next two are even better. Fellowship of the Ring. Frodo Baggins. But what do you think? Have you read The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring? Do you love it? Do you not love it? Sound off in the comments below. Be sure to like the video, please. Subscribe to my channel. And as always, thank you for watching. Bye.